Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for being here. And I am so excited that I have another guest on the Feminine Voice of God podcast. I know it's been a little while since I released an episode. My goal is to have 2 episodes released a month. And because I'm a new podcast, I'm still looking for people to bring on to the show. I try and be really intentional about the people that I'm inviting on. And not only that, I also have wrestled with this idea of releasing episodes that are just myself, only because I know there's so many stories to share. While I do have beautiful spiritual stories that I can share with everyone, I really want to invite others on and have them share their stories as well. So I'd love any kind of feedback that you want to give. If you want to write me an email and let me know if you'd like more from me, if you would be interested in hearing some more solos, I'm more than open to doing some more solos for you, the beautiful and incredible audience. And of course, I always love feedback. And I actually want to give an incredible shout out right now to somebody, and her name is Katrina. I hope I got that right, Katrina. I want to first say thank you for your feedback. I know that it took me a little while to find it because it was on my website, and I I'm still kind of learning out the conversations on there, but thank you, Katrina. And I do want to give you a shout out who gave me some feedback saying beautiful voice and podcast subject. So thank you so much. And thank you for greetings from Sweden. I appreciate that. And I'm so honored. So again, thank you, Katrina, for that feedback. And I'm so happy to hear that the podcast has reached Sweden. And I know it's reached a lot of other countries as well. Um, Ireland, you guys popped up out of nowhere. I've got, it looks like 8 people from Ireland. So thank you. And I honestly, I'm just so excited and honored to know that it's reached out that far to everyone. Anytime you want to give me some feedback, I'm more than open to that. And I would love to hear your comments, your feedback, your support. You can email me at femininevoiceofgod@gmail.com. Probably get to me a little bit faster. My website, I'm still learning out conversations on there, but I would love to hear from you. And with that, I do want to move into the podcast. And I want to thank everyone for listening. And I'm really excited for this guest who I was so honored to meet through a training, a leadership training that I was doing. And she was such a powerful being. And I'm so happy to have her on. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the Feminine Voice of God, a podcast celebrating women's spiritual connections to God, Source, and Spirit, including the mystical and the psychedelic. Join us as we explore women's transformative experiences of divine revelation and spiritual empowerment. I'd like to start by welcoming everyone back to the Feminine Voice of God. If you're just joining us, or if you've been a continual listener, welcome. I'm interviewing today an absolutely beautiful soul, somebody that I met in the LifeWorks journey as well, but we've developed such a incredible relationship over time. And it's Ella Perez is the person that I'm interviewing today. So welcome, Ella.
Thanks, Nikki.
So I would like to start by asking you, what really started your spiritual journey? What was the moment for you that you woke up or that things started to change?
That's such a great question. I've been thinking about this a whole ride up here. Just going through my history of when did this awareness begin for me? And to really put that into perspective, I got to take you back. I got to take you back to the
Take us back.
90s.
Okay, let's go
Let's
to
go
the
to let's go
90s.
like 1998,
Yeah, take us.
the 90s in Los Angeles. And times were rough. Times were rough. I was about like 6 around the time, and growing up in poverty from immigrant background,
Mhm.
the only thing we could do for fun was go to church with my grandma.
Wow.
So like multiple days out of the week, we're at
Mhm.
church with my grandma.
Mm.
And this is a Pentecostal church.
Mm.
So it's rowdy.
Yeah.
It's musical. It's loud. It's passionate. It's dramatic.
Mhm.
It's it's a show. So that is the environment that I grew up, and that is the environment in which I learned about God
Mhm.
in the very beginning, about this masculine God, about
Mm.
this powerful but scary God.
Yes.
And from then on is when I started recognizing this part of me that would not accept that.
Like you knew then. Did you know then? Or you accepted
It
it when
just
you were younger?
it didn't make sense to me. I didn't trust the adults.
Yeah, why didn't it make sense to you? What didn't make sense about it?
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that what they believed was 100% right.
Mhm.
I felt like there has to be more,
Mhm.
but that's where I grew up. So I had this programming for a long time of
Mhm.
purity, of being maybe perfect, doing everything right.
Mhm.
And throughout my journey, specifically with Christianity, that shifted from that perspective to like, wow, learning about Christ,
Mhm.
the whole point of it. Learning about Jesus, Mary, learning about dimensions.
Mhm.
I mean, that was one of the biggest spiritual awakenings that I had because at one point I left Christianity.
Mhm.
I'm like, fuck this.
How old were you?
18,
Mm.
18. And this was after I was a part of my Christian club in high school. I thought I was going to marry my like first boyfriend from church. And I was really living my Christian girl fantasy.
Mhm.
And then my mom got cancer.
Mm.
I was going to go to a Christian college, master's near Santa Clarita.
Mhm.
I was so proud of myself and I was so prepped to go to college, the first one of my bloodline.
Mhm.
And then that summer, my mom gets cancer,
Wow.
breast
Oh my
cancer.
god.
So I turned around and I looked at God and I said, fuck this.
Yeah.
I've been so perfect.
And then you deliver this.
And then this is what I get.
Mhm.
Either way, I had to quit college because I knew I had to work.
Yeah.
Nobody asked me, nobody expected that
Mhm.
looking back. But in many ways, I'm a natural provider.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got to go to work. And all right, fuck you. I'm going to go to work in Hollywood Boulevard. I'm
Mhm.
going to wear little tiny shorts and big girl heels.
Mhm.
And I'm going to make some money in this lustful and sinful
Mhm.
Hollywood world
Yeah.
as I was a waitress in Hollywood hookah back in the day.
And where was that coming from you though? Like that energy of that? What was underneath that?
This part of me that is like maybe rebellious,
Mhm.
or it's like that teen energy of like, I want to buck up
Mhm.
at life, at God, at the universe. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't fair. And I don't like this. So I'm going to do things my way. And I remember my prayer. I'm sitting in my 2006 red buggy with a beautiful beige convertible top. My dad bought
Mhm.
me this car for graduating high school. And I'm in my car and I'm sitting outside. And I remember thinking, like, I'm going out to the club tonight, but I don't want to go to church tomorrow because I don't want to be hungover at church. And
Mm.
just, I always felt like such a hypocrite.
Good call. Yeah.
So I remember saying a prayer like, God, I'm not going to go to church anymore. I'm just going to go do me. But if you need me, come get me.
Mm.
I remember seeing that part very specific. and like waiting for the lightning bolt to like smash from heaven, flinching, like, you know? And that also like reflects what kind of child I was to my parents.
Mhm.
Just this rambunctious little firecracker with my parents. And never taking no for an answer.
Yeah. Would you say like that, but if you need me, come get me was more like also like show me then. Like show me that, all of this isn't just me going out, living the life that I want. Like give me a reason then. Show me yourself.
In some ways, for sure. In the moment, it just felt like, but I'm still down for you.
Mhm. Mm.
Like I'm doing what I want to do, but I still love God.
Yeah.
I want to go try the world out because that's the Pentecostal way of thinking, like del mundo, eres del mundo, you're of the
Mhm. Of
world.
the world. Yes.
So,
I think that's a lot of religions. They're
yeah.
like you choose us or you're choosing the way of the world.
And at that point, I was like, I've chosen God so many, like all my life, and I've been called to serve, but this is what I get?
Mhm.
Not fair.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Mm.
So I went to the world and I got a lot of experiences. And in that perfect, beautiful way, I found God everywhere,
Mhm.
actually. And yeah, there's been many times in my life, painful experiences that have led me to these like awe-inspiring next level
Mhm.
awakenings. So I've met God many, many, many times.
Yeah, and that's after you decided to leave the church. Is that would you say that happened?
Well, before that happened, another time I remember meeting God in a different way, maybe
Mhm.
not through a Christian lens, was when I was in 6th grade. And my best friend, my older sister, had run away from home.
Mm.
And we didn't know where she was at. And my mom was losing her mind.
Wow.
And at the time, my mom had also just recently had a baby, my little sister. And I had a little brother who was 3 or 4 at the time,
Mhm.
my younger siblings. And that time was really, really hard, really hard. Because in my world, being 11, 12-year-old, it's like all the adults around me lost their shit.
Mhm.
Nobody was home. And I very distinctly remember like thinking it was my job to protect, provide, and entertain my younger siblings
Mm.
through this chaos.
Mhm.
And it was really hard. But I remember one day I'm in 6th grade in between classes and I'm walking from class to class. And I get this moment of clarity of like, through my sadness and fear and anxiety and my body's changing and all this stuff is happening and
Mhm.
feeling alone, I remember thinking like, yeah, but what's future me up to?
Mm.
And seeing myself in the future with all the things I wanted and being the person that I wanted to be.
Mhm.
And I remember having this moment of awareness of like, I can just connect to that. And I can ask that part of me for guidance. And she'll take care of me. And just having that moment of like time travel.
Mm. It's so interesting that you say that because thinking about our journey that we did, right?
Mhm.
Where we did a psilocybin ceremony, mushroom ceremony. For those of you that don't know what psilocybin is, we did it in a very sacred way. And I was with this beautiful being doing that. And you have your little girl come up now,
Mhm.
right? And she's now showing up in this timeline where back
Mhm.
then you were tapping into this timeline now to support her.
Yeah. So special.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? when you think about that? Like, what do you think's happening there for her, for you right now?
Mm, part of me feels like I'm integrating all parts of me.
Mhm.
Part of me feels like I'm experiencing a lot of the same experiences I had when I was around maybe that age. So it's like connecting us in that way
Mhm.
through these similar pains. And I also feel like it's all like healing.
Mhm.
It's all coming up, it's all being healed. I'm reconnecting because I'm entering this new stage.
Mhm.
And that is the fun part. Yeah, yeah, when I think about the woman that I was maybe connecting to when I was a 12-year-old, a 6th grader, it was this hot version of me.
Mhm.
Strong, beautiful, like energetic.
Mhm.
And what I loved about the mushrooms this last time we did it too, I was able to connect to the grandmother version of me. And I've never
I
really met
love
her
that.
before.
That's like the matriarch. Yeah.
She's the
The
one.
wise, yeah.
Grounded,
Mhm.
calm,
Yeah, already gone through all the experiences.
certain.
Yes.
Mhm,
Able to stand
mhm.
in the storm and just embrace versus fighting, running. I gotta get out of this, right?
Crying,
Yeah.
stomping.
Why can't it stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, like, centered,
Yeah.
and I was able to connect with her, and it was just, like, so beautiful to sit in her body as she well, lay in her body as she just sat with her heart open and had just
Mhm.
this inner peace and this, like, pride, like, "Hell yeah." Like, my legacy looking back
Yeah.
at the moment when I had this experience, I was laying with my little sister. We were both trying to sleep, but I also remember when I was little sleeping with my grandma,
Mm.
and now I was a grandma and I was sleeping with one of my little ones in
Mm.
that experience.
Wow.
And I just, like, held her hand, and I could just feel, like, the generations, the bloodline,
Mhm. Mhm.
the people,
Yes.
and I almost felt like God's view upon me of, like, just love.
Yeah.
Like, "I just love you so much."
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love. Well, it's so powerful, I think, that you're able to connect to those different versions of you. You know, it's the maiden, the mother, and what they
Mhm,
call the crone, right? Or the matriarch. And that's all the different pieces of that feminine process through the experience of a human being. Yeah, that we go through. And even you, like, I want to take it back to where you're saying, right? You went out, you're like in Hollywood, right? Doing that life, living on that timeline, right? Even that experience and doing that is just another expression of not only the humanness, but like the expression and energy of God living,
mhm,
living as much as like religion will say you're of the world. Cause in my religion, I was also same little tactic there. I was raised Mormon. You're either in the world, right? And of the world, or you're with us. And realizing how all of that, like you said, is the experience of God. All of it is the expression of God in just human form. Yeah. And I think we lived through that with this last ceremony that we did too. Like that's what came up for me was all the different expressions of human life, everything, all of it, all the suffering, all the fun, all the incredibleness, all the horrible, every single part of it, but it's all the expression of God, an energy of God.
Yeah, it's really getting to break out the matrix.
Yes.
And for me, like looking at it from a metaphysical standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I see it like it's not me against the world. It's I'm a part of this world. I'm a part of this matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I can't escape it.
Mm-hmm.
And none of it is real, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not even real.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like, if you're explaining that to somebody, like, let's say somebody is listening to this and they're like, what? What does that mean? I'm not real. We're real. I mean, we're listening to the podcast. You and I are sitting here talking. My dog's over here, like, doing his thing. What does that mean that we're in this matrix and
Mm,
it's not real? Explain.
that's a great question. So, I mean, I could only describe it the way I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that the truth, the capital R reality of me is that I am one with my mother. I am one with my father.
Mm-hmm.
I am one with all. And yet, I have experiences where we are all separated. And because of that separation, there's so much fear and there's so much hate. Now, saying I'm not real means that this is a great question. How do you explain this?
Oh no. Because it's a big thing for the human mind,
Yeah.
right? To wrap its head around.
Mm.
Like, how do you explain that it it's not real?
I guess I would start by thinking like my true identity is being
Mhm.
one with God's spirit.
Mm, mhm.
And then I start becoming more dense and quote unquote real 3D
Mhm.
in this physical world.
Mhm.
But that's not all of what I am. I am
Mhm.
so much more that even this part of me can't fathom.
Mhm.
But this part of me that's fathoming is just a very tiny part of me, actually. It's just
Yes.
an experience, a very temporary experience.
Mhm.
So, how can that be all of me?
Yeah.
So, the real me, you know, body, mind, soul, spirit, oneness is a true reality.
Mhm.
There's moments where I can access those parts of me through prayer, through meditation,
Mhm.
through triggering physical events, breakdowns in relationships, health breakdowns. There's
Mhm.
all these things almost designed to help you go back to remembering.
Mhm.
One of my teachers taught me that it's almost like God's child dreamt of what would it be like if I wasn't with my father?
Mhm.
And in that moment of questioning, the big bang happened and this universe was born
Mm.
from one little thought.
Mhm.
And now this is where we are. But in
Mhm.
God's eyes, we never separated
Yes.
from it.
Mm.
We couldn't.
We never can.
We can't. It's like I mean not physically because we're not talking about physics, but like
Yes.
it's
We're
not possible.
yeah, we're literally it, everything, right? And if I mean, even breaking it down in physics, right? In quantum physics and just physics,
Yeah.
right? It's that everything is an expression of the same thing, right? In the matrix, there is no spoon. You're only bending yourself. Literally every single thing is made of particles, atoms, neutrons, electrons. When you break those down inside of those, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's waves of light. So this table that we're sitting by is made of that same energy. Your
Yeah.
body, my body, this cup, the computer, these little mics we're holding. It's all energy
Yeah.
at a different rate of vibration that makes it look real.
Yeah, Nicole, but I'm heartbroken and my life freaking sucks and they broke into my car and they stole my makeup.
Yes. And that's all real too, though.
Yeah.
It's all that's all part of the human experience also. Right? And those experiences, like when we did our last mushroom ceremony in the forest, right?
Love it. Yeah.
I saw all of us going through different human experiences, like living lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and we're dying. Horrible deaths. Car accident. Somebody's getting killed. Somebody died in the desert. Somebody else is just having a regular death. And then we go and we do it again and we do it again and we do it again. And it was painful at first.
Yeah.
It was so painful until I get to the point where instead of me clenching and holding on and doing all that, I release and I breathe and I let go. And all of us would meet on the other side and we'd be like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Did you see how I died? I freaking got murdered by that person. And then
Yeah.
the other person, oh my gosh, I was in the desert. Did you guys see me? Did you guys see me with no water? I was out there and I was dying. And then we're like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. And then we go back, sucked into the vacuum of the universe. And we're back and we're born. And here we are doing it all over again.
And Nikki, that's the experience I had when we did mushrooms at one time in Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Because the feeling that I had was as we were all in our journeys, there came a point where I was resisting the ceremony, and I was just in a loop.
Yeah.
And I was aware that I'm surrounded by all these spirits, and you guys were like, come and play with us. Let's create, let's have fun. But I was stuck in this loop of like, I don't want to lay down. I want to sit down. I don't want to lay down. I want to sit down, or whatever the thing that had me. And you guys were just like, some of you were patiently waiting, and some of you were like, come on. That's what my
Yes.
experience was. And I'm like, I want to, but I literally can't. I'm stuck in this loop. And
Yeah.
that's what I feel the spiritual journey is all about.
Yeah.
Breaking those loops, those patterns, those beliefs, becoming more of yourself.
Yeah. And I'd say even becoming aware that you're in the loop. And instead of attaching to that loop with emotion and whatever, right? Because that's really what's keeping us trapped. Oh,
Yeah.
somebody broke into my car just like you did and stole my makeup bag, right? All the emotion that goes with that. You're playing into that. You're creating that experience, and that experience is going to keep happening and continuing in whatever form or fashion because you're charging it, right? Versus separating from that. You're like, oh, you know what? Somebody broke in my car, stole my makeup bag. It's all good. There's more makeup in the world. There's more cars. I will create a whole new experience where I can do that over again in just another way. Right. And I think that is the loops that we got stuck in when we're doing these ceremonies. Right. Because the moment that I release and let go, I was playing with all of you guys. We were all playing. It was like we were little kids. And when you pretend like you're out in the wilderness and you're playing freaking, you're a cowboy or you're like this native person running on the plains and we're all dying and we're all like, all of that is it's just part of the great game of God that we're playing. Right. And when I'm so attached to it, which I'm sure you experienced, you were attached. You're like, it's painful and I don't want to go through that. And what do I do to not just accept and let go and release and surrender? Yeah, it's like you get stuck and then you're stuck, dude. And that stuckness, we can't. And we experience the stuckness, right? We experience somebody that wasn't willing to surrender. And what did it do? The no surrendering and wanting to be stuck led to chaos.
Pure chaos.
We had chaos happen. People were coming out of the ceremony. The freaking things are billowing through the wind as the doors were open. I was trying to get the energy out, but dude, everyone's walking around. People are like, "What's happening? What is this reality?" It was madness, right? All the different sounds going off on people's headphones. I had to shut everything down, bring it down to silence and quiet. Everybody breathe, release, because that stuck energy keeps us trapped in a certain experience.
Yeah.
When we're supposed to, I don't even want to say supposed to, we are created to flow through experiences.
Yeah.
Even this human life, I love how you said it before. This is just a small part. This is a blink of an eye in the span of eternity of your existence.
Which is brain breaking to even think about,
Yeah.
which is why um it can feel scary for people.
Yeah. It's super scary because it's the mortality too. Us thinking that, and that's a hard one for people to face. And that came up during our ceremony in Joshua Tree was death, mortality, aging,
Mhm.
right? And what that means, letting
Aging.
go
Mhm.
of this human body and the attachment to the human body, even.
There was this moment where I was gonna use the bathroom, and I remember, like, you told us, "Don't look at yourself in the mirror."
Yes.
I caught a glimpse of myself.
Uh huh.
You just walk in, you look at yourself.
Yeah.
Girl,
What came up for you?
oh
What
my
came up for
god.
you?
Instantly, I looked at myself and thought, "I look like a zombie."
No. Oh, no.
Instantly,
That's
right?
usually what happens at the beginning. You're like, "Oh my god."
I look like a zombie.
Mhm.
And, in that same moment, though, I got checked by myself, like, my higher
Mhm.
self checked me, and I just felt like, "Ah, I love this person." Like this little almost like this paper doll.
Mhm.
I
Mm.
love this thing, this physical attribute, this
Yes.
body. Um, Life's been kinda hard for me lately, and there'll just be moments where I just, like, get shooken up by spirit, and I'm like, "I'm so lucky to be me.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm so lucky to be me." And it really puts things in perspective,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think initially too, what you're experiencing and what you're explaining is like that immediate judgment that
Mhm,
we have as a human being, right? "Oh my god, I look like a zombie. I look so gross. Oh,
mhm.
look at my hair," right? When
Yeah,
really, like, the highest version of you, your spirit is like, it's such a blessing to be here in this moment living as Ella.
exactly.
Like, it's something that will never happen again in all of eternity. You being you with all your experiences
That's it.
never happen again. Never.
That's it.
Yeah. And that is so incredibly beautiful,
Yeah.
right? And that's why I tell people when you've been doing ceremonies for a little while and you start to become that awareness, you get to a point where you can stare at yourself in the mirror and you're like, no matter what you look like, your makeup could be all messed up, your hair's everywhere. You could have something on your tooth and you're like, God, I'm so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And you just look at yourself with love and with light, right? I've sat and stared at myself in the mirror, just looking and like looking in my eyes and just seeing my face transform into all these different things. And it's so powerful to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the beginning, don't look at yourself in the mirror. Because, like,
Not
it's hard.
recommended.
Yeah, it's hard for the humanness to not judge. But later, maybe do. Do look at yourself in the mirror.
So I'm a plastic surgery consultant. It's a weird gig when you're spiritual.
Yeah,
It's a
for
weird gig.
sure we talked about this.
It's a weird
Yeah,
gig.
it's weird.
I've resisted it in the past. It always brings me back because I love women.
Mhm,
I love women. I love business. There's so many layers to it, but
mhm,
one of the things that I'm constantly like I want to say in battle with
mhm,
in terms of the plastic surgery world is being mindful of how much I want to change how I look
mhm.
because it's tempting
Yeah,
and I'm in it.
you're in it.
I'm in it. So I have to have a kind of like judgmental eye
Mhm.
for detail and all the things that I'm providing, while at the same time not letting it consume me
Yeah,
or skew the vision of others.
yeah.
So
And yourself
and
too, like you're saying,
myself and
right?
myself.
Being surrounded by that and having access to that, like, what I mean it might not sound easy, but as changing the human body, this easy transformation to shift and change that, you know?
I'm really fortunate though because I get to see it for what it really is.
Mhm.
Sometimes that means consulting with patients who are utterly broken inside.
Mm,
Sometimes that means consulting with patients who are fucking champions.
yeah.
These women in their transformation who choose
Mhm.
to have their exterior match more aligned with whatever
Yeah.
they want it to be. So it's like this huge game. Yeah, I have this like reverence for myself, especially having a baby now. I'm like, my baby looks just like me.
It does.
How can I dislike how I look?
Yeah.
I
Just
look
lo
like my baby.
just love.
Just love
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
love because and two, like, look at that little incredible being that you created with this powerful human body that you were gifted as and the portal that you are. We're literal portals, dude, for humanity.
Yep.
Like, we're portals for the human freaking life to come through and exist.
Yeah.
Like, what is more fucking incredible than that? It's so powerful. And you're right, like, in your world that you're living in, right? In that plastic surgery world, it's like and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like there is a part where it's like, you need to change something about yourself, 'cause it's not enough.
So, what I've noticed for me, whatever energy I'm sitting in, I create.
Mhm,
If I'm sitting in that energy, that's all the patients that I get.
mhm,
If I'm sitting in the energy of like, hell no, I'm becoming my best self. When I'm
mhm,
writing that high vibration and that high frequency, because even that, like the conversation I would have before is like, God wouldn't want me to change myself. God made me perfect.
mhm,
God made me powerful.
mhm,
And oftentimes, this physical appearance
mhm.
is not even like quote unquote genetics. Sometimes it's trauma,
Yeah.
years of trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe that if you are able to change it physically, you're able to quantum leap through
Mhm.
healing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I could see that. I could. And I've seen people because I work in mental health, so I've seen the mental part of that, where people have been through traumatic experiences, and their physical self looks very different from the healed self. And as people are working through that trauma and healing and releasing that energy from their body and where it's trapped in the body, they start to look different
Mhm.
without doing anything other than that internal healing,
Yep.
and people, I'm sure you see this all the time, people out there in the world, right?
Mhm.
People that are listening, when you go through something or you have an experience in your life that's really difficult for you, right? Maybe relationship, partnership, whatever, you might notice that your physical being changes. And I think us as women, we really pick up on this because we're so empathetic and we're so connected to that energy that when we're sitting in something that no longer serves us or that we're aligned with, you start to see it in your physical self,
Yes.
right? When you don't let go of things, right? Which is the conversation you and I have had about me holding on. My hard thing is letting go and surrendering. I see it. My body literally holds on to it. Like I literally gain weight and I can't get it off no matter what I do because it's
Spiritual.
spiritual telling me.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I think what you're saying is that we also are like playing. And even that, I think, the plastic surgery part, right? And I had a talk
Mhm.
about this too, about people transitioning. And I've worked with that in mental health too, where people were like, oh, I want to transition. All of that is each person's journey too. So, like, the part of me that comes up where I do look at people and I'm like, you're transitioning and you have all this trauma related to men. and you're transitioning from female to male. I could see, but sometimes they can't. But that's all good though. Like that's the part of me that has to also release the judgment of someone's journey and allow and let them do what they're going to do because it's their process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's always our own healing that's taking place at any given fucking moment.
Mhm.
Always. And it's all a reflection of whatever the fuck we got going on. Can I cuss on
Yeah,
here?
you can.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And we're all mirrors for each other too. So that's the other piece, is that and being able to see that through all the different layers of shit that we have going on for ourselves too.
But you know what? All this shit can become so complicated and complex,
Oh yeah.
and people can lose their fucking minds.
Yeah, people do. I see it all the time. People lose their fucking mind.
I do too,
Yeah,
actually,
I do
in
sometimes
my
also.
own ways. Well,
Yeah.
I see it with people who like maybe in my world it manifests as women becoming almost disfigured, chasing this.
Yeah.
But again, the outside reflecting the inside.
Mhm.
So throughout my spiritual journey, I go through my little phases.
Mhm.
Up until kind of recently, my phase was I'm a creator, I'm a
Mhm.
manifester. How can I rule over and have dominion over this physical world
Mm.
and create whatever it is that I want? Bang,
Mhm.
bang, bang, bang. Throughout that journey, I created a lot, I
Mhm.
did a lot. And yet, what I still found was this feeling of like unsatisfied.
Mm.
Nothing is ever enough. And I also feel empty inside.
Mhm.
So I've entered this new phase of willing to, well, willing to have the life that God wills for me.
Mm.
And that could be scary because a part of me recognizes, like, yeah, that could be so much though. Like,
Mhm.
do you even know what you're asking for right now? And the small self is like, you know, but it's more of that letting go
Yeah. Letting go, trusting, knowing that it's working out for you.
and living bliss
Mhm.
and in that peace, I
Yeah.
think. But it's also super exciting because I recognize like, oh, there's some shit percolating right now.
Mhm.
There's some stuff happening that's beyond my awareness and my control. And I love it here.
Mhm.
Let me just flow with the universe.
Yeah, because that's the shit coming to you that God's already planned and prepared for you.
As though at the same time, like physical reality is breaking down around me. As my old life is shattering, as
Mhm.
my relationships change, as like who I thought I was and what I believed was real is completely disintegrating, I get to just bliss out, just lay down
Yeah,
and breathe.
and breathe, and breathe, and stay hydrated, right? And and I feel like for you too, it's like you have to have a willingness to sacrifice and let go of something to receive this new thing. And it's that same holding on that we do. It's a guise of control. Even the manifesting part, like, oh, I'm going to be a master manifestor and all the manifestation courses and all the things that people come out with to be like, you're going to manifest and you're going to manifest and you're going to be all of it. It's all our idea of us wanting to control all the things, you know? It's the guise that we have of control that we want because deeply as human beings, we have this deep need to have control. Yeah.
What's fun though, I feel like getting to be more in tune and in touch with my desires,
Yes.
understanding that that is God's message and will for me.
Mhm.
Those true, I want to say pure desires,
Mhm.
things that are born out of love, things that are born out of fun.
Mhm.
That is what's propelling me forward to where I'm going and also just where I'm
Mhm.
at any given moment. And that picture clears up for me day by day as I experience all the shit I don't want,
Mhm.
which is a lot right now. But I've been here before, like I said.
Mhm.
This is just like kind of like clockwork, like, oh, I'm upgrading. Yep.
Mhm.
Cue the shitstorm.
Yeah.
And then I find myself in a totally different reality.
Mhm.
And this is all just playing with God.
Yeah.
This is one big play. This is one big production.
Yeah. It is. It's the dance
Hmm.
of personhood.
Yeah.
It's the dance of existence. I call it the great game of God. It's the light and the dark coming to play with each other. The sun and the moon. One rises, one falls, one shining, the other gives the other one the opportunity. And it's all part of the balance of life. Even the fucked up shit.
Even the fucked up shit.
Yeah. Like we've been and had some fucked up experiences, as I'm sure everybody has in their life. I'm sure all of you that are listening to this, when we say fucked up experiences, they probably are passing through your mind of exactly what that is for you, and you know what it is.
And we both had the experience on mushroom journeys where we both felt the pain of the world on our
Pain of the
shoulders.
world, all
Wow,
the
was that
suffering,
heavy?
dude, all the suffering.
All the crying,
Yes.
all the blood spilled, all the like, that's what was coming up to me at one point. Not to scare anybody with mushrooms, but it's so perfect because it's number one, it showed me I'm not alone. We're literally all the same.
All of it. Yes.
And at the same time, none of this shit is real.
Yeah.
And I can choose to, in a moment's notice, just step out of the matrix, even for 20 seconds with meditation, with prayer, something that will just bring me back to the present moment where none of that is real.
Hmm.
It's imagined, it's falsely remembered, it's formulated.
Yeah. It's all the layers of the human shit that we go through,
Hmm.
all of it. And we are all experiencing it as one, right? It's all one. We're all part of the one great thing, everything. Yeah. And all of it is bringing it back to what you said earlier. All of it is part of the great play, the
Hmm.
production to experience separation from the self, from the Big Bang, from that creation, right?
Hmm.
My explanation of that is similar to you. It's a little bit different, but what it is for me is creation, everything that is, wanted to experience every single perception, every single type of experience that was possible from all the different eyes, from all the different lives. So, Big Bang, boom, to make everything, every single experience possible, from the smallest bug to the biggest freaking being, and all the other beings in every single other planet and universe and dimension that exists.
Hmm.
Because no two experiences will ever be the same. Never. So, how better to know yourself, know thyself, than to experience every single thing and always come back to yourself, always coming back.
And even that, it's giving like, that's such a human understanding of it.
Mhm.
Because again, it's so big yet at the same time so simple
Yeah.
that that's us trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And it goes back to like that thing of like nothing is real and everything is real.
Mhm.
You're powerful, you're powerless, whatever your experience is,
Mhm.
that is what is your truth.
Mhm.
And even that awareness for me, I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it because I get to choose my experience.
Mhm.
And even as a little girl, remembering like looking around at these adults, like especially in the Pentecostal church, dude, people are dramatic, they faint, they put like a little white thing. It's just like this huge fun thing. I remember, and then always like at our church, people used to get like exercise or like these demons used to be
Oh,
casted
yes.
out.
Yeah.
And they used to talk about all the how terrible hell is and how God smites.
Mm.
And I remember just kind of standing back and looking at them like, y'all are tripping. There's no way. There's just no way.
Mhm.
Having that awareness. And even now, like looking at my life and being like, there's just no way.
Mhm.
There's just no way I'm not winning right now. There's just no way I'm not so blessed right now.
Mhm.
There's just no way that God isn't with me right now and right here.
Mhm.
There's some of the most painful experiences of my life.
Yeah.
And that's the shift because there's moments of going through pain and feeling all alone, which amplifies that pain by 1,000,
Mhm.
or feeling like I'm in level 10 pain right now, but God is with me and God is here during the situation and
Mhm.
I can rest. That's how I experience my mom's transition.
Mhm.
L- Level 1,000 pain, but I'm peaceful.
Mhm.
That's one of the major moments in my life that actually brought me to mushrooms,
Yeah.
was that my mom was really scared of dying.
Mm.
She did not want to die. She had this like hunger to be alive,
Mhm.
but yet this cancer was eating away at her body, her physical
Mhm.
body. So I was just frantically looking for a solution to make her more comfortable. And I started learning about mushrooms and psychedelic experiences, and I was down immediately.
Mhm.
I'm like, I like the sound of this.
Mhm.
I got my hands on some. I was never bold enough to take a big dose,
Mhm.
but the smaller doses that I experienced also helped me like shift. Now I had been a student of marijuana for quite some time by this point,
Mhm.
because before then alcohol had a stronghold on me.
Mm.
And then I shifted to marijuana, which also sparked a spiritual awakening
Mhm.
because it finally turned off all of the noise
Mm.
and helped me just connect to myself again.
Mhm.
But mushrooms was different.
Yeah.
It was so different. And I was able to sit with my mother as she did a few doses,
Mhm.
and we did breath work and we did tapping, all this stuff that I was learning online.
Mhm.
Mom, let's do this. Let's try this.
Yeah.
And she was a really good student. She was actually my teacher. The way I imagine it is like she's the teacher pretending to be the student. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do your little breath work thing with you.
Right.
Okay, I'll do your little tapping thing. And I'm just here like learning and looking and like growing.
Yeah.
And I remember before my mom passed, I told her, like, Mom, I want to have a spiritual business.
Mhm.
And my mom was always so supportive of all my crazy antics. Like, can't tell you all the shit I've been up to. Just always starting these new little businesses, true Capricorn in every sense of the way.
Mhm.
These little businesses, all these little hustles, and she'd always have my back. And my mom's just like, of course, honey,
Mhm.
you're going to be a millionaire one day.
Mm.
I'm like, yes, I am. But this felt different because I felt like at that time, while she was so close to her transition, it was our spirit speaking
Yeah.
to one another. And when I finally let go, it's like I could finally breathe again.
Mm.
She passed peacefully at our house. And then 3 weeks later, I find out I'm pregnant.
Mm.
Her greatest wish was to be a grandmother. Her greatest wish.
Yeah,
So she got her wish.
she did. What was that experience like for her with the mushrooms?
So my mom, for a long time, was very heavily medicated.
Mhm.
I remember ever since my sister ran away, she began using antidepressants.
Mm.
She was on antidepressants and then Xanax and then all these slew of medications, which is
Mhm.
another thing that led me towards more holistic options.
Mhm. Of course.
I saw what these medications were doing to her, and I just was very unattracted to that, especially since my father's an alcoholic.
Mm.
Seeing how that substance affected him, seeing how these substances affected her, I was just looking for another way.
Mhm.
So when I gave her the mushrooms from the outside, she was just chilling.
Yeah.
And only she knows what she experienced within. But just sitting with her and being in that peace
Mhm.
was enough.
Yeah.
If I could describe what kind of daughter I was, I would have to say like rambunctious, feisty,
Mhm.
and always wanting to be right.
Mm.
Always wanting to know why. If you're gonna tell me no, give me a dissertation of why not,
Yes. Yeah.
instead of just understanding like no means no.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a parent, dude, I'm just like, bro, chill.
Yeah. I mean, I experienced the same thing. I was like, "Why? Why?" I think a lot of us probably have, right? But that's the not trusting, right? Not knowing, right? Even in that pain, like you talked about at the beginning of the podcast, right? Why? I've been a good girl. I've done everything you've asked. Why?
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since losing my parents in a physical way, and also being the type of daughter that never really relied so much on my parents,
Mhm.
I was always fighting with them, which actually carved out the person that I am today.
Mhm.
So I'm grateful for it. And I see that it's all perfect.
Yeah.
I have this like daydream of like, I just want to be a spoiled girl. And in a lot of ways, I was,
Mhm.
because they let me just do whatever. They couldn't control me.
Yeah.
And they still loved me and supported me. Like I said, my dad bought me this really cute 2006 Volkswagen Beetle with the
Yeah.
beige convertible top. And because they knew I was like, I want to fly, dad. Like, help me fly and be free in this world.
Yeah.
And now that they're not physically here for this era of my life, I get to turn to God a lot.
Mhm.
And sometimes that little part of me will start creeping up, like, but why? I don't like this.
Mhm.
And I get to just soothe myself.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
trust,
Yeah.
fine.
Just trust and know.
Hmm.
Yeah. I get this feeling and this sense that, like, all of that for you, that whole chunk of going through that with your parents and transitioning out of this world, and that whole lesson that you've learned of trusting and the why,
Hmm.
like your blasting off point of your spiritual journey. And who knows what the rest of your life, what God has planned for you.
100%.
And you get to trust that. And you get to know that you're being taken care of and spoiled by God. Yeah.
That is who I'm learning to be.
Mhm.
I don't want to be a spoiled little girl anymore. I want to be a spoiled wife.
Mhm.
So it comes with a different energy. I get to move differently.
Mhm.
I get to have certain expectations.
Mm.
And that's the upgrade. The upgrade is like coming from a poverty background, alcoholism, all the reasons why to stay in that energy, but to choose like royalty, actually. Like, I don't know her. But also, thank you. I bless and honor my, all that. But also, like, I'm flying high.
Yeah. I would challenge you to and challenge that and even say, like, you do know her, though. You know her so well and you learned her so well that you lived her experience and now you understand and know enough that you know you can shift out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of it comes from within. Yeah.
I want to make a correction if
Go
I
ahead.
could. Are we good on time?
We're good on time.
Um, yeah, I don't want to be a spoiled wife. I want to be a wife that's provided for.
Yes.
There's a difference in energy. I don't want to
Yeah.
be spoiled. I want to be generously provided
Yeah.
and protected and yeah, just be that.
Yeah. I mean, you can be gratefully spoiled.
Spoiled. I don't like, you know
But see,
what?
even that comes with our human like connection to that of what that is.
Spoiled to me, I think of like milk. Milk is spoiled. And also brattiness, which has popped up for me in the past of what's that word when you think everything belongs to you? Entitlement.
Entitled. Yeah.
I don't want to be entitled.
Yeah.
Because then that's gonna breed the type of reality that would feed into that. And
Yeah.
I don't want that for me.
I hear you. We strike the spoiled from the record. Everyone that's listening. Okay.
Delete it from your ears.
Yes, delete that. We're going to leave it in. It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you were to say to everyone right now, right, sharing with the world, what do you think is the biggest lesson that you gained from your experience up until now?
Just radical forgiveness.
Mm,
Yeah, just radical forgiveness. Forgive everything and forgive everybody.
mm,
That is the ticket to freedom.
yeah. And would you say yourself too?
Absolutely. That's where you need to start.
Mm,
Forgiving yourself, maybe forgiving God,
mm,
and just going down the list. Where does the unforgiveness live in your life? How
mhm,
does that manifest for you? What loop is that keeping you under? What
mm,
beliefs is that creating?
mm, mm. That's powerful.
And it's a superpower because once you just are able to forgive things,
Mm,
because you're all connected, it's all a cosmic game anyways.
mm,
You're not bound by
yeah.
the energy it takes to be hateful and resentful and fucking mad about it and so brokenhearted,
Yeah.
hurt. I just get to
Heavy.
forgive.
Yeah.
I just get to let it go and maybe find gratitude.
Mhm.
I'm not always there. I sway between gratitude and fuck him. But it's a journey.
Mhm.
It's a journey. And I'm grateful to even have the awareness of like, okay, I'm in the fuck it mode right now.
Yeah.
Let me breathe. Let me not take emotional actions from this space
Mhm.
because it's just going to breed more of what I don't want.
Yeah.
Let me go take a fucking nap right now. See if that can shift me a little bit. Sometimes all we need is a nice little nap.
Little nap, some water, some breath. Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you, Ella, for all of your beautiful lessons and information. that you gave. I feel like we have so much. We could talk probably for hours. So I think we'll definitely have to have a part two of this and going deeper, I think, to some of the things that we've experienced, because it's so much and all the things that we're creating. Yeah. So I want to thank you for being here and thank you for being open enough and vulnerable enough to share with everyone.
It's my absolute honor and pleasure to be here. Thank you for creating this platform.
Mhm.
Thank you for listening.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for being here. So if you guys would like to support and follow Ella, you can find her on Instagram at miss.ellabody. She's also on TikTok at ella.body. I'll put all her information in the show notes. You guys can find her and go support her. Yeah. And all the beautiful things that she's doing on planet Earth right now as Miss Ella. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the feminine voice of God. May the divine feminine within you continue to guide and inspire your spiritual journey. Stay connected, share your insights, and embody the wisdom shared on our podcast. Until next time, may the sacred essence of the feminine illuminate your path.